Welcome back, and we're going to start on our final part of the Ministry Policy Manual with feet washing. This is going to be a little bit different of a time of talking because I feel like this is a part that we're no longer using and utilizing within the church. And I think it's because we've lost the vision for it. However, in this time period, where we are in society, I feel like we need to rekindle the idea of feet washing. It's a very needed aspect in the walk of a Christian. And so I'm going to be giving a little more of a why we should, and then a little bit of how we should, okay? I'm going to give you a scripture verse, John the 13th chapter, and starting with the 12th verse. This is following the act that when Jesus washed the feet of the disciples. After washing their feet, he put on his robe again and sat down and asked, "Do you understand what I was doing? You call me teacher and Lord, and you are right because that's what I am. And since I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you ought to wash each other's feet. I have given you example to follow. Do as I have done to you. I tell you the truth, slaves are not greater than their masters, nor is the messenger more important than the one who sends the message. Now that you know these things, God will bless you for doing them." Feet washing is so important in the life of a church because it teaches us humility and love. What Jesus was showing his followers was that he was not greater than them, that they were in the same place. There is no big I's and little U's, but we are at the same place. He was really teaching humility. In today's environment, this is the lesson we need the most. For many people that are demanding their rights to be heard, their voice to be heard, their thoughts and their ways to be heard, there's a lot of demanding going on. And we need to learn the lesson of humility. This is a wonderful way to bring that within your church. Talking about feet washing. Yes, it's uncomfortable. I've heard the words many times. I don't like people messing with my feet. I get it, and I understand. There's a way that we can do this and still be respectful of everybody's boundaries. What I would encourage first and foremost, as the minister, we have talked quite a bit about taking time, explaining why we do things, giving the word, the reason, the example, all of those kind of things. We've done quite a bit of talking about that through these 3 sessions. And through this, I'm not going to let up on that at all. If we haven't done it for a while, if it's something we've put back in the back corner that we don't really want to address right now because it's so uncomfortable, let's take it out and talk about it. What is feet washing? Well, it really is a blessing. It's showing your brother, it's showing your sister, I love you enough to pray over you, to act like a servant in front of you, and I'm humbling myself to prefer my brother or my sister, in whichever case it might be. That action brings unity within the family. I remember as a kid, we used to do this all the time. And I would see grown men, of course, being a male, I was not part of the female time, but I would see grown men sobbing as they washed another man's foot. It was because there is something that happens within our heart as we bend our knee and as we give of ourselves our dignity, our pride, our respect, whatever you want to call it, to our brother. Washing their feet, praying over them as you do it. The person's feet being washed, the humility of, I'm letting somebody do this. This is crazy. In this environment, that does make sense. A lot of people would think this is crazy. But it does something in our heart as we're praying over the individual that's washing our feet, as they're praying over us as they wash our feet. That it's a unity that happens within the body of Christ that is so special. As I've already said, being a younger child and seeing this played out in front of me, I knew what it meant. I could feel what it meant. And as a child, it meant something to me. To have the deacon of our church wash a 12-year-old boy's feet, praying over me, encouraging me, for them to submit themselves in that kind of way, it meant so much to me as a kid. I understand why we've walked away from it and all, because it's an uncomfortable thing. In the time period that we're at, boundaries are really well defined. And so I feel like there is still a way we can do this without totally negating it and throwing it away. And so as the minister, this is where teaching about feet washing comes into play here. For people to either touch another person's foot or for somebody to have their foot touched is uncomfortable. And so then we don't just throw it away. This is what we do. You make a water basin that has water in it. Give one individual a cup where they pour the water over their feet. And as they're doing that, they pray for them. There's no touching at all involved, but it's that you're pouring the water over the person's foot. You can do that and still respect all boundaries. The other part is you can do it the way we've always done it. You can just do it the way we've always done it. A person washing another person, a brother's or a sister's feet, praying over them. And there's not a lot of design as far as, okay, now you do this, and now you do that, and now you do this. There's different songs that can be sung. There's testimonies that can be given. There's praying over other individuals and having a time of the Spirit starts moving. You can pray over other things that are going on in the church. It's just a wonderful bit of time that can be taken where as a church you are unified together. Now, some of the important things that you do as you give direction so that everybody knows what's happening. Everybody knows what's expected. There are many times that people, if they know what's going on, they're not going to show up at church because there's too many things that are not known. And it makes people uncomfortable. So the best way to do that is to explain it. This is what we do in water baptism. Somebody sits in front of you. You bend down. You pour water over their feet. Pray over them as you're doing that. The individual that is having their feet washed, they pray over you. You're praying over each other, and there is a sense of humility that comes within your heart, and a humility that Jesus Christ has shown us in his walk. This is why it was important that Jesus said, this is what you are to do. You are to remember we serve each other. That is a very simplistic way to put it right there. Now, I've addressed it. I've talked about it. It puts everybody at ease, and everybody knows what's expected. Okay? So let's not throw it away. Let's utilize it as something that can bring unity within our churches. Now, some of the semantics about it is this. Genders don't need to be together. You don't need to have a man washing a woman's foot. It's improper. It shouldn't be done in church. So what you do is you separate genders. The man do it in one area, and the women do it in another area. Okay? Put somebody in charge of both of those. If you have deacons, it's wonderful. We have deacons and deaconesses. That's something that I rejoice about. I'm so glad we've done that within our church. As you think about that, put the male deacons in charge of the what the men are doing. Put the women deacons in charge of what the women are doing. Have prayer times. Have ways that you are encouraging each other. Equip your leaders to then lead. And if I could take a moment of time, this is a tidbit of information. This is completely free. Equip your leaders to lead in every area. The truth is, you are a minister, but who have you got underneath you that's getting ready to become a minister? Okay? So this same process you're going through right now, you want to encourage those other ones that are called as well to begin to walk in that. And as you do that, give them freedom to do these things and to take charge of the service. Okay? So that's just a tidbit of information in that. Okay? So what are the elements that you need? Water basins, something to pour water into. Okay? It can be a large pot or something like that. Just be mindful that you've got to get feet in there. Okay? So water basins, and then plenty of water on hand. I have been a part of water, of feet washing where they kept the same water and everyone did it. I would encourage you, don't do that. Okay? Don't do that. That was when I was a kid, and I remember thinking, yuck. Okay? I would encourage you, get a fresh pot of water. Okay? If that's possible, just pour out, put new in. All right? That'll probably help a lot as far as wanting people to be involved in it as well. And then, so water basin, water, and then towels. Think about that element too, towels. All right? Because you'll need to dry the feet as well. That's why I said in the part of water baptism, it's always important to have some towels on hand. Okay? All right. So other than that, I would encourage you, take this out and let's renew this example that Jesus Christ gave to us. It's an important one. We need to learn about humility. We really need to learn about humility. It's how Jesus walked. It's how he has encouraged us to walk as well. Okay? So let's learn this lesson that Jesus showed and gave us an example of. All right? Again, I would encourage you, if you have somebody in your area, if your local pastor, your district director, those that are, maybe you might have a retired minister in your church. That's great. That would be wonderful. But if you have questions in those areas, don't just leave it unanswered. Ask. Okay? There's a wealth of knowledge around you. Always be free to ask. All right. God bless you so much. I have thoroughly enjoyed this time with you. Again, I wish it was face to face because I feel like we all gain so much more knowledge like that. But we'll look forward to that in times to come. God bless you so much. Thank you for joining us. And again, I am so thankful to Pastor Jacqueline for asking me to do this. I am honored. I'm very honored, and I don't take it lightly. God bless you so much. I will be praying for your future endeavors, and I pray that God will always be with you, always sustain you, always encourage you. Remember, folks, as you walk the life of a minister, you're not doing this for mankind. You're doing this for God. So when mankind tries to put you down, when they try to discourage you, when they try to question you, you don't do this for man. You do this for God. So you only have to make him happy. God bless you so much. I encourage you in your walk with the Lord. Keep going. God bless.